very excited to say that I'm with a company today called Architect, and they're based in Malaga. And I'd like to introduce you to David Sanchez and Santiago Casillari from Architect. So, David, you're the owner and CEO of Architect. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, please?
Yeah, well, I was born and raised in Canada, as you know, and I did all my research about construction. I built up several companies over there. One of them being construction. I spent my last 20 years doing this. It did fascinate me, the fact that I have to, or in Canada, we have such a harsh weather where the construction type and process is so different from Europe's, right? So I did like the fact that, and I did a lot of research, and obviously I acquired that knowledge to be at the point where we are right now here in Spain, developing all the knowledge from the past 20 years into Spain and the European construction type. So we're using all that knowledge to build in such a harsh weather, to pass it into here to be a more conscious environmental construction, a much faster quality control construction type as well. And modular is one of the answers.
So that's the idea behind Architect, isn't it? So what's the reason for Architect? You touched on it.
I'm from Spanish parents, immigrants to Canada. My wife is Spanish as well. I'm not going to lie to you. The good weather and the great food, it's a big point to move to Spain. But I did find a lot of demand for housing in Spain at the moment. And there's not so much supply. As you know, there is a big problem with municipalities to grant licenses for timing. So a traditional construction type can take up to 3 years to get a house delivered. Whereas where we come and we can build the houses within our facilities within 6 months, it's a great achievement. So that is a decisive point at that point for me to come to Spain and make this business and deliver that type of construction business.
So if I could just sort of summarize your relationship, you've been coming to Spain for many, many years.
Yeah.
But you've learned the building process in Canada, in Ottawa.
I've been involved in construction for the last 20 years in Canada.
Some serious extreme weather over there.
Correct.
Right? But because you've been coming to Spain, you've been keeping an eye on the Spanish construction market.
I've been coming to Spain very often, like 3 times a year. I've been doing a lot of research, statistics about housing, and I think it's a great demand right now for it, and there's not supply.
Santiago, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're the main technical architect.
Yeah, I'm the chief architect of Architect. I'm from Malaga, from Spain, and I came from traditional construction. And as David said, he offered me to came to Architect, and he showed me what we can do. I said, of course, yes. I want to be involved in that.
What is the traditional process to build a property in Spain?
Well, yes. When you want to build a house here in Spain in a traditional way, you go to an architectural studio, you hire a project, then after the project is complete, you apply for the license, then you wait for the license to be completed, and then you start building. With that, we can, this whole time can be almost 3 years. With us, we split the time in half. So with us, we are designers and we are constructors, and we design for since the very beginning. We applied for the license after getting the basic project, and then while we are waiting for the license, we can start building the house. So after you get the license, your house is going to be already done. So we just have to make foundations, and that's it. 4 weeks of finishes, and you get the keys.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it? So you don't have to wait until the town hall gives you the permission. You have to wait. You can actually start building immediately.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I found fascinating.
Most of the times, the license not even granted, and the build of the house is already completed in our facility. So once the license is granted, house has already been built. Meaning that when we get the license, we do the excavation, the foundation, we implement the house on top of the foundation, and within 6 to 8 weeks, we give the keys to the customer.
I think that the main difference between what architects do and the traditional building companies do is that we don't want to make modular houses. We build premium villas. We start from that idea, okay? All the architects working here came from high-end villas in traditional construction. And all they came with the answer, how can we make better villas for our clients? And the answer was, let's make it modular. Yeah, because we can get better timing. We can control the cost. We can get higher qualities. So that's what we do.
Most of the designs are custom-made designs. Obviously, we do have a portfolio on our website that customers, they can look at them, they can even pick one of them, or they can get ideas from them. Not necessarily they have to pick one specific model. They can get ideas. We work with the customers during the whole process, especially on the designing process. We give them the chance to tell us their needs, their budget, and specifically, we need to take into consideration the plot size. Once we get the plot information from the customer, the whole team start working into what are your needs? What do you like? What kind of design do you like? What type of, and what do you want to implement into your design? And they start working into that. There's a lot of back and forth in that process, right? Until we get to a final design. But everything is customized to the customer needs. Once the customer gives us the okay, the green light, everything's okay, they like it, then we start with documentation and the building process.
Does your construction model work on most plots, or are there certain plots that doesn't?
Certainly, everything, all of them. Like we are limited by the plot size, of course, but we can make it work. It's just that we can implement a 5,000 square meter villa in a 1,000 square meter plot, right? So, but options, there's always option. It might not just fulfill the needs of the customers that they're not realistic. If they're realistic that they have 1,000 square meters of plot and they want a 300, and we have to take into consideration too the buildability that the municipality gives to that plot. Most of the time it's 30%, 40%, 50%, and we work with that.
Okay. Environmental study on the plot and everything else, you guys.
Of course.
So I'm a customer, a potential customer. I have identified a plot. I haven't bought it yet. When would be the best time to contact you guys, do you think?
Well, we do have two types of customers. The ones that are undecisive and they're looking for a plot. Like for example, on Monday, we do have a meeting with a customer that she wants to buy the plot. She contacted us. She already has a preliminary budget from us, estimate from us. She contacted us and she said, David, I'm looking to buy this plot. Can you guys come and look at it and tell me your opinion? And we go, we look at the plot, we look at what she wants as for needs, and we tell her, yes, it is possible, or not, it's not possible with what you're looking for. Then they make the decision. Then we have on the other side, we have other customers that they do have the plot already, investors mostly. They do have a big land divided by plots, and we work with that information to make the designs work with the already purchased lot.
So you work with like individuals and also investors?
Yes, well, lots of investors.
Is it attractive to investors, this
Absolutely.
type of field?
Well, Mark, think about this. And we do even have promoters, developers that they're coming to us with their projects already been approved, thinking, why are we going to wait 3 years when we can get our houses built in 6 months? And between 6 months and 2 months extra for the final touches, in 8 months, they can start selling the houses. They get their return on investment in 8 months versus 3 years. They can use that money to reinvest it. So pretty much versus traditional construction, whereas they take 3 years, in 3 years, they can make probably 3 operations.
What is it? What is the terminology we're using here?
I think the terminology that fits better with what we do here is off-site construction.
Off-site construction. Okay. And can you explain that to me? What's that in comparison to other?
Yeah, of course. The main difference between prefab construction and outside construction is that in prefab, they build parts of the house and they assemble them in the plot. So most of the work is done on the plot. And with off-site construction, most of the work is done here. So with all the advantages that has.
So you build the house is actually built on site here.
In our facility.
In our facility.
Yes.
So how does the house get to the plot?
Is designed to be split in parts, and we transport that parts to the plot. And in a couple of days, we assemble them in the plot, and we finish.
So you prepare the foundations. Obviously, that's traditional because the foundations have
Same as traditional, yeah, that's right.
the house is built with kitchens, everything included.
Everything. Flooring, roofing, everything. 95% of the house leaves our facility built.
Okay.
Meaning that when we do the excavation and the foundation, house is gone from here 95%. That's why we need 6 weeks on site to do the final touches. Final touches are the joints between the modules. We have to cover them. We have to plaster them. We have to paint them. Flooring as well, where the joints are. Just little final touches. There's the landscaping, for example. We have to do that on site as well.
So how do you get the house to the plot? You just stick it on the back of a lorry.
Yes.
The whole house.
The whole house.
With tats, doors, and everything.
Divided into modules. Yeah. We have certain limitations for sizing.
Why do you think architect can improve on the traditional build and the other types of builds that we've seen in the past?
Quality control. The architects are going up and down the stairs every 10 minutes looking at the building process every single day of the house, whereas traditional construction, if you're lucky, you get the architect once a week to go on site and verify that the work being done is correct, which most of the time it's not, and they just cover it up. That's once. Timing is another one, like we said, 6 months versus a year and a half building inside the plot. We are avoiding climate issues or climate factors, like if there's rain or wind or snow, it doesn't matter. We are in a safe environment. Our workers are coming to a facility where the climate doesn't affect the construction process. Let's just not forget the environmental impact, that we don't have trucks going to a plot every day or workers going there. They come, we do the orders for the material once and they come here once. And everything, the footprint and the impact to the environment it's been all avoided pretty much.
This is the thing that when I first came here, this is the thing that impacted me a lot. I actually live in a very nice part of it, but it's a bit of a building site at the moment.
Yep.
A place in El Paraíso, El Campanario, in Estepona. And it's going to be like that for the next 3 or 4 years.
And the noise too. Imagine you avoid all that and you get a company that comes, do the excavation one day, and 2 days the house is implemented, and that's all you hear about us.
That's why we are asking to the municipality to get another way to get the license faster, because we impact less on the environment.
Is there a need for a client to employ a project manager?
I think there is not necessary, since we control the whole process since the very beginning. But of course, he wants to bring it, it's no problem with us. But many clients, when they came to us, they want a turnkey project, the whole. So they want us to control the whole process. We are designers, we're architects, we apply for the license, we build the house, we install the house, we do everything.
It's a turnkey contract, pretty much.
Do you have delay issues?
Not in our end. It's mostly the license municipality granting it. Most of the times we're waiting for the license. The house has already been built here. We have it here. We're just waiting for the license. We compromise on a time frame that once we get the approval from the municipality, we do agree with our customers that within 2 months or 2 months and a half, he gets the keys after that.
2 months.
Because once we get the license, we only have to do excavation, foundation, implement the house, and do the final touches.
That's incredible.
So realistically, there's not such a delay as per se, because we're talking about probably days or maybe a week or 2 here and there. But that's out of control. Let's say we were doing the on-site work now and it starts raining. Well, we can't do anything against that, right? That's why traditional construction get a little delays.
Yeah, but over 18 months, 2 years, there's going to be a lot of factors that could delay it.
Exactly.
Yeah, here we have a big facility, but the space is limited. So we have to control a lot the space within our facility. So there is no option for mistakes on that.
And if there's no delays, you can control the cost more, right?
Yeah, of course. And since we build the most of the materials in the beginning, so we can guarantee fixed cost to our client. That's something they appreciate a lot.
If I'm interested, what kind of villa would I be expecting to receive from you? What kind of size?
We can give you recommendations on what we think is best depending on plot size, your budget, and your needs for sizing. We can give you the recommendations, but the customer at the end is who makes the final call.
Yeah, but we are not limited by the design. We can do everything.
There's no limitation for what we do. We're limited by the plot size.
Yeah, of course.
That's it. And the budget.
What is bioclimatic architecture? Help me out here.
Well, bioclimatic architecture is the one that takes advantage of the environmental conditions to improve the conditions inside the house.
Is there anything different that you need to do in order to get planning for this type of house?
No. Same as any other construction business.
And would you be able to help clients with that, or would you recommend them to?
Like Santi said, we do that ourselves. Like we do have a team they're specialized into municipality documentation.
It doesn't matter where.
We actually service all entire Spain.
As I told you, we try to push a lot. We have several architects in the council trying to push the license as much as they can. We're asking for another way because we are faster. We can build faster than traditional, and we can make things better for the town. The impact in the city is less. So
I think I understand what you're saying. So you're actually trying to sell this concept to the town hall to give you, but it's fast track.
that's right.
An application from you guys because environmentally you're going to cause less damage than a traditional. Are you getting any success with that?
Well, as you know, you and I we were in a meeting with the councillor and the mayor of Mijas, and we're trying to work with them, and we're trying to give them the knowledge about what we do and how fast we can do it. There's such a big demand and less supply for all these housing needs. As you know, we're reaching out to them, we're explaining what we do. They know we're much faster. We can fill that gap of supply. It's just that they are limited themselves into the town hall to, they don't have they're short staffed. That's it. And they can't be granting licenses as fast as we can build.
Price wise, in terms of someone asks how much does it cost to build, price per square meter, what are you like in comparison to a traditional?
We are at par. It's pretty much the same. It's the same cost. We're not trying to save money here. We're not selling our product or ourselves as a cheaper option for a customer. It's exactly the same cost. We're pretty much at the same. Of course, there are certain levels of qualities and finishes that a customer can pick, and then we're raising up the budget. But we are at par with traditional construction.
So when you give a price, that's the price.
It's fixed. As you know, traditional construction at Midway, they call you and they tell you, well, I'm sorry, the price of the material just increased. I need 50,000 euros more for the construction of the house. And they can go and increase the price 2-3 times during the whole process. We don't do that. We give a fixed price from the beginning. How do we avoid that, Mark? We avoid it because we take a 30% down payment at the beginning of signing of the contract. We take that money, we order all the materials from the beginning of the house, and there's no surprises. We have the material. It's in our facility. And with that, we built it during the whole process. No surprises, same price, closed, fixed. And if we made a mistake, we will pay for that mistake. We don't go to the customer and we ask for more money.
How do we finance these?
That is the roadblock we're finding here. Financial institutions are learning about this right now. They are scrambling to find a way how to finance a product that has not been built in a plot versus a facility. This is a sensitive matter right now. As you know, and we know too, we're working towards helping the banks and the financial institutions to understand what we do, and that the asset is really here. Yeah. They don't understand it. They just want to see it in the plot, on top of the plot. They think that because it's here, we're just going to run away with the house. And no, it's not the case. But they're starting to learn about this. There's been a great news a couple of weeks ago about the government of Spain working along with the financial institutions and the banks to pressure and promote this type of finance. We're hoping that it's gonna be shortly that the banks are gonna start to consider this type of product. But at this moment right now, is a roadblock for us. For people who need to finance this product.
From our conversations and the conversations we've been having with banks and with surveyors, is that they can't value something which isn't on site,
Correct.
which is understandable. The only solution that we have is that these projects ideally should be self-financed until the point the town hall is ready to issue
Licenses granted. And we can implement the house on site.
So at that point, when the house is ready and you're going to receive the first occupation license, the bank's quite very happy because they can actually physically value us on site. That's the only way we can do it right at this moment. It should be viewed, in my opinion, as a self-build, off-plan development.
Correct.
These are 100% mortgageable. There's no issues because you get the license, you get the 10-year guarantee, right? Which is essential.
Once it's implemented on site, bank institution, the mortgage, no problem. You know that. And we provide the same guarantees as a traditional construction. 10 years on structure, 3 years on 1 year on the fact, 3 years on installations, everything. It's the same traditional guarantees.
I did research. I brought a surveyor with me here to analyze the build. This is a traditional house. It's just built different.
Yeah.
And the end product can be mortgaged as if it was built over 2 years. Beauty of it is, it's not built over 2 years. It's built in 5 months. And that's just a no-brainer for me.
They last longer than a traditional house. They are
Longer as well.
they are anti-earthquakes and tornadoes, so they can resist a lot more than the traditional construction.
We install a lot more isolation than traditional. We double the standards of traditional.
Our premium villas, they come out right off the bat with certification A without doing any effort.
Right.
And so customer can come here anytime they want, and they can look at how we're building a house, the process going. If they have any questions, we will answer them. They can schedule a meeting with the architects, clarify all their questions that they have.
If anyone sees this video and they want to find out more, what's the best way of doing it?
Well, they can reach us either through our email or they can call us, give us a call.
Thank you very much.
Mark.
Thank you, David.